Hello guys, welcome to the live lived show by Counselor Mwita of Counselor Mwita TV. Know your love and relationship status. Today as usual, I am back to engage you in matters to do with love and relationship. Today, as part of my topic, as part of my theme, I am going to talk about petty sex. Petty sex is a form of sex that someone engages in as a result of mercy. It is also called mercy sex. Or it is just a form of sex that someone may engage in just because he is sorry of another person and just wants to make the other person feel better. But what opinion can I make as a counselor of such form of sex? What can I say? I can say that it is a borderline evil. It is not good. It is not healthy at all. So, at what circumstances do people usually find themselves in such form of sex, engaging in such form of sex? In what circumstances? That will form the baseline of our discussion today. And I will be willing to get your comments. I will be willing to engage most of you, my fans, in the comment section. As well, even before I start, allow me to thank my subscribers and my fans for the job well done. Back to business. One reason, one circumstance when people end up having petty sex is when you just have sex to just do over with it. In what circumstance, in what scenario can we conclude that you have had sex just to do over with it? In what circumstance? Let me talk about people in marriage. Maybe your marriage is not in good shape. So here you just need the better significant of you just wants it. But for you, you are not in your moods. You just have to do it just to get over with it. That's one reason. You just do away with it. You just want to finish then for the sake of the other party. But you are not ready at all. Reason number 2. In what circumstance? You can have it when you happen to have sex after a breakup. You broke up, but maybe you happen to meet. One thing leads to the other. In the process, you end up having sex, but you had broken up. That is petty sex because no one of you was prepared for it, and there is much possibility that no intimacy was involved. It was just mechanics, no emotional connection at all. Circumstance number 3, when you have sex during emotional trauma. You are maybe crying, you are stressed up. As a way to console yourself, you end up using your genitals to console yourself. That is also part of the petty sex. In such a scenario, there are much possibility that the other party that you will engage will just have to do it just to make you feel better. Not just because the person was ready for it. Not just because the person had also feelings. It is just for your sake. And that is part of the petty sex in such circumstance. Circumstance number 4. When you have sex as an aftermath of consoling, you could go to console someone, you could hug such a person, one step could lead to the other, from hugging to cuddling to hand in sea. In such a scenario, this person was not prepared for that. But because of this handling, a touch, an influence out of a touch could lead you to the bed, but you are not prepared for that. That is part of petty sex. It is a circumstance and it should not be ignored. Number 5, when you have sex, when you very well know that this is the last time, I'm just having it for the last time, then it will be my last date with this lady, or it will be my last date with this guy. So in such a scenario, you could be doing it but still very sorry for this person, because you know you're going to detach yourself from her or from him for the rest, possibly for the rest of your life. That is always our motive. That is the farthest we can see at the time when we want to break up. So in such a scenario, when you have sex knowing that, you even sympathize with this person just because you know it will never happen again. It is the last time. That is part of the petty sex, and it should never be ignored. It is part of the circumstance. Number 6, it is when maybe a significant other makes such demands for sex, but for you are not ready. When you refuse for the first time, after an effort of persistence, you finally give in and accept. That is always part of the petty sex, because you have got into the trap just because this person was not ready to accept your position. So as a result, that could be a circumstance under which one could end up in petty sex. Number 7, when you have sex with someone who had dumped. Everyone knows the pain that comes with the dumping. When you just start ignoring someone all of a sudden, if you just decide to block someone on all social media platforms and do away with such a person completely. But after a couple of days, you end up meeting the same person somewhere. You engage, one thing leads to another, and as part of the memories, you end up having sex. That is part of the petty sex, because not you, either the other person was prepared for the same. So, that one is one of the circumstances that could lead to petty sex. Number 8 is when you know that the other party is not ready for sex, but all the same, anyway, you end up having it. This is very common with the boy child. A man, there is this famous psychologist, as much as they have once and again associated her with toxic feminism, but her statement carries some truth. The psychologist said that any man is a potential rapist, which to some extent I may agree with her. There is such kind of man. I may not rule it out completely. Such kind of men do have no regard for the other party, provided they can satisfy their lusts. That's all they need for the moment, and that is all that is likely to happen. So, if you know very well that the other party was not ready, but all the same you make a mile to accomplish your business in the bed, that was part of the circumstance that could lead to petty sex. So, even as I end, I must give a word of caution, just because you must understand that it is not all about mechanics. Sex is only sex if it is embraced by both parties. It should not be sex as a form of mechanics, where it's just an action with zero involvement of intimacy. Such an act is evil, it is unhealthy, and I want to encourage other people to be patient, so that once in a while, when they happen to hook up, they just engage the right people. They just have it for the pleasure of both parties. My sincere gratitude to the people who are willing to continue and promote our societal norms, to promote this vital clause of equality, where the boy child will be equally considered in the whole field of sexuality. I must say that a boy child has been forgotten, but those who champion for the same, in this, we must say no for the higher of sex. Thank you so much.